Don't let the past control the present, a Stoic way to reclaim your power. The past is not a prison. How many moments have we lost because we were busy replaying the ones that already passed? It's a haunting question, and if you're honest with yourself, you might already know the answer. There are times when your body is in the room, but your mind is somewhere else entirely. Caught in a memory, a mistake, a missed chance, you're reliving what was said, or what wasn't, what should have happened, what could have been. And while the present moment gently knocks on your door, you don't hear it, because you're lost in echoes. We all do it. We carry around a mental scrapbook of the past. Some pages are filled with nostalgia, others are heavy with guilt. Some we flip through with a smile, others we try to ignore. But slowly, almost imperceptibly, those pages become chains, and we wonder why we feel stuck, why we can't move forward, why joy feels just out of reach. The answer is simple. You can't walk freely into your future if your heart is shackled to your past. The Stoics understood this. They taught that the past is not evil, nor is it to be erased. It is simply outside of your control. And according to Epictetus, some things are up to us and some are not. The past, not up to us, no matter how hard you analyze it, no matter how many nights you lose to what-ifs, no matter how deeply you wish things had gone differently. It's already happened, and no philosophy, no prayer, no regret can undo it. But what you can do is choose how you live with it. You can drag the past around like a burden, or you can let it become a teacher. You can keep reopening the same old wound, or you can finally let it heal. Seneca said, "He suffers more than necessary, who suffers before it is necessary." Yet how often do we make ourselves suffer, again and again, for things that are already gone? We replay the same scene, say the same sentence in our heads, feel the same shame, and call it reflection. But it's not reflection, it's imprisonment. True reflection leads to wisdom. Endless rumination leads to suffering. So how do we let go? How do we stop the cycle? We begin by remembering a simple truth. You are not your past. You are not your worst moment. You are not your biggest mistake. You are not the person you were before you learned better. The Stoics remind us each moment is a fresh chance to live with reason, with virtue, with presence. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. Your mind is the gatekeeper. It decides whether the past is a guest or a captor. And that power, it's always available, right now, in this moment. You don't have to pretend the past didn't happen. You just don't have to live there anymore. Use what you've learned. Hold on to the growth, but let go of the grip. Guilt that teaches you something is useful. Guilt that repeats endlessly is poison. Regret that sparks change is noble. Regret that paralyzes is a thief. And nostalgia, it's a beautiful visitor, but a dangerous landlord. Let the past knock, but don't invite it to stay. Each breath you take is a doorway to now. Each choice you make is a seed planted in the present. And the present, this is where life happens, not in the replays, not in the should-haves, but right here. You can choose stillness over shame. You can choose focus over fixation. You can choose peace, even with an imperfect past. That's the essence of Stoicism. Not to erase emotion, but to guide it, to free yourself from the things you cannot change and pour your energy into the things you can. So ask yourself this, honestly, how much of my life am I missing because I'm busy reliving the part that's already over? And if the answer is too much, you're not alone. But you do have a choice. You can turn the page, you can stop rereading the same paragraph, you can lift the weight from your shoulders and finally walk forward. Because the past is not a prison, unless you make it one. 2. The Stoic view of time and control. You have power over your mind, not outside events. These are the words of Marcus Aurelius, a Roman emperor, philosopher, and quiet observer of human struggle. In just one sentence, he captured the essence of Stoic wisdom. Control what you can. Let go of what you can't. And if there's one thing that belongs to the category of what you can't, it's the past. The Stoics were deeply concerned with time, not in a rushed productivity hack kind of way, but in the most human way possible. To them, time wasn't just hours and minutes, it was life itself. Seneca wrote, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste much of it." And what is one of the easiest ways we waste it? By mentally living in the past, by dwelling on what's already gone, by giving our attention, our most sacred resource, to things that are no longer real. Think about it. The past is unchangeable, set in stone, beyond your influence. No matter how much you wish it were different, it remains exactly the same. So, why do we keep trying to fix it with thoughts, with guilt, with self-punishment? Why do we argue with something that no longer exists, except in memory? Because the mind craves control. And when we lose control in the moment, we try to reclaim it in reflection. If only I had said this, if only I had chosen that, if only I had seen it coming. But every if only is a closed door. And the Stoics would gently ask, what's the point of standing in front of a locked door when life is happening in the open room right behind you? To dwell on the past is not just unproductive, it's a kind of spiritual distraction. It keeps you from doing the only thing you actually can do. Live well now. That's why the Stoics placed time and control together. They saw that if you tried to control time, to grasp the past or predict the future, you'd lose the present. And the present is all you ever truly possess. Marcus Aurelius said, do not waste what remains of your life in speculating about your neighbors, unless with a view to some mutual benefit. Otherwise, you are losing the opportunity to do something else. That something else? It's living, right here, right now. The past does have value, but not as a place to live. It's a library, not a home. You visit it to learn, to understand, to grow. But then you come back to the present, because that's where life unfolds. And here's the beauty. When you choose to focus on the now, you take back your power. You stop leaking attention into memories you can't change. You start investing it into actions that matter. So let's say you made a mistake. You hurt someone. You failed. You lost something meaningful. The Stoic question is not, why did it happen? But what can I do now? Can you apologize? Can you learn? Can you use the pain as fuel? If the answer is yes, do it. If the answer is no, release it. But do not dwell. Do not cling. Do not replay. Because your mind is not a theater for regrets. It's a workshop for wisdom. The present moment is where clarity lives, where change is possible, where character is built. And if you truly want peace, if you want purpose, if you want freedom, you have to reclaim your mind from the past. The Stoics didn't deny that we feel regret. They just refused to let it dominate. They practiced redirecting their attention from the past to the present, from helplessness to strength. So ask yourself, where is my mind right now? Am I living in a memory, or am I meeting this moment fully? And if the answer is the past, return gently, come back here. And here is enough. Because you don't need more time, you need more presence. The past can't be changed, but your relationship to it, that's entirely within your control. And that's what Stoicism is really about, mastering what's yours and letting go of the rest. One thought, one breath, one present moment at a time. 3. How the past hijacks the present. You're here, but not really. Your body is in this moment, your eyes reading, your heart beating, but your mind, it's somewhere else entirely. Replaying that argument, rewinding that failure, reliving that heartbreak. It's not just memory, it's emotional residue, a quiet fog of resentment, a sting of shame, a trace of bitterness that seeps into your now. This is how the past hijacks the present, not with noise, but with weight. You wake up ready to live, but feel heavy. Not because today is hard, but because yesterday never really ended. You carry around moments like they're tattoos, forgetting that they were meant to be lessons, not life sentences. And slowly, without even realizing it, your mind becomes a museum of moments you can't change, while life, real life, waits outside the door. Stoicism teaches us to be fully present, to live in accordance with nature, life, and nothing is more natural than the passing of time. Nature flows, time flows. But we humans, we cling to old pain, to past mistakes, to stories that no longer serve us. And in that clinging, we lose something precious, the ability to act freely now. Think about the last time you made a decision based on fear from the past, the last time you hesitated because of an old mistake, the last time you stayed silent, played small, or looked away, not because of today, but because of then. This is how memory becomes a cage. You don't see the bars, but they're there, built from old narratives. I always mess this up. I can't be trusted. This is just like last time. And so without meaning to, you hand your present confidence over to your past pain. Seneca warned us, we suffer more often in imagination than in reality. And where does the imagination live? In what was, in what might have been. When we replay our mistakes like broken records, we weaken our sense of agency. We forget we've grown. We ignore that we're wiser now. We silence the voice that says, I can choose differently this time. And it's not just regrets. Nostalgia can hijack the present too, because sometimes it's not pain we hold on to, it's comfort. The good old days, the moments when life felt easier, lighter, clearer. We romanticize the past, and in doing so, we numb the present. We compare this messy, real, imperfect life to a version that's already filtered through memory. And we wonder why joy feels so distant. Epictetus would remind us, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. But how can we react clearly when we're reacting to the past instead of responding to the now? You cannot drive forward by staring into the rearview mirror. At some point, you have to release the image so you can see the road ahead. Here's the deeper truth. Your mind is powerful, but if you let it be ruled by unprocessed emotions, it will turn moments into monsters. A mistake becomes an identity, a wound becomes a worldview, and the present becomes just a placeholder for your past to keep repeating itself. This is not living, this is looping. So how do we break the loop? We start by noticing it. We catch ourselves mid-replay and ask, is this helpful? Is this true now? Is this moment asking me to act or to relive? We choose response over rumination. We anchor ourselves in now, where life is not perfect but possible. Because you are not your yesterday, you are not your worst decision, you are not the person who didn't know better. You are here, and that means you have a chance to be better. The past can inform you, but only the present can transform you. So the next time your mind drifts backward, don't fight it. Just guide it home. Come back. Back to this breath, back to this step, back to the life you're still writing. The past has shaped you, but it does not have to shackle you. This is the Stoic way, to live rooted in reason, awake in the present, free from the ghosts of yesterday. Because now is all you have, and it's more than enough. For reframing the past, learn, then let go. Events don't hurt you, your opinion of them does. Epictetus. Let that settle for a moment. It's not the breakup, not the failure, not the betrayal. It's what you believe it meant about you, about your worth, your future, your identity. The event passed, but the opinion stayed, and that's what lingers, what stings, what loops. But here's the powerful shift Stoicism offers. You can't change the memory, but you can change the meaning. This is called reframing. And it's not denial, it's not toxic positivity, it's clarity. It's seeing the same moment with wiser eyes. What happened is done, but what it teaches you, that's still unfolding. And that part, that's up to you. Let's take a mistake. You trusted the wrong person, you said the wrong thing, you gave your all, and it still fell apart. The initial reaction is pain, disappointment, maybe shame. But pause. Ask yourself, what did this teach me? Just maybe it taught you about boundaries. Maybe it revealed a part of you that still needs healing. Maybe it showed you what you truly value, by contrast. When you reframe, you take the raw material of pain and turn it into wisdom. You become the alchemist of your own experience. Epictetus reminds us, we cannot choose our external circumstances, but we can always choose how we respond to them. You don't have to erase what happened. You don't have to pretend it didn't hurt, but you can choose to no longer be defined by it. You can stop saying, this ruined me, and start asking, how did it remake me? You can stop holding the event with clenched fists and start holding it with open hands. There's a phrase in Stoicism, amor fati, love your fate. Not just accept it, love it. Not because it was easy, not because it was fair, but because it shaped you. Reframing isn't about making the past pretty, it's about making it useful. Think about how often we trap ourselves with emotion. The shame that never left, the resentment that builds a wall, the guilt that clouds every next step. But Stoicism says you can accept the event without clinging to the emotion. That feeling is not you. It was a visitor, it came, it taught, it can leave. You're allowed to outgrow it. So how do you actually let go? You start by facing it. Not as a victim, but as a witness. Write it out, name what happened, name how you felt. And then ask the deeper questions. What did I learn about myself? What strength did I find that I didn't know I had? What would I do differently now? Reflection is the scalpel. It cuts through emotional fog and reveals clarity. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." Your past doesn't block your growth. It is your growth, but only if you choose to reframe it. If you don't, it becomes weight. If you do, it becomes wings. Letting go isn't erasing, it's releasing. It's loosening your grip on a story that's been holding you back. You're not the same person who lived that moment. You've changed, you've endured, you've learned, and now you get to choose the story you carry forward. So the next time the past comes knocking, don't run from it. Don't drown in it. Just meet it with curiosity. Ask gently, what is this still here to teach me? Then learn. Then thank it. Then move on. Because you are not meant to live in your history. You are meant to live in your growth. Your past happened, but your meaning of it, that's still being written by you. Learn, then let go. That is the Stoic way. 5. Present awareness as a daily practice. It's easy to understand in theory that the past shouldn't control us, but in practice, it's much harder. Old memories sneak in when we least expect. A scent, a song, a silence, and suddenly we're somewhere else, replaying what once was instead of being where we are. That's why presence isn't just a mindset, it's a muscle. And like any muscle, it's built through daily, repeated effort. The Stoics knew this. They didn't just preach self-mastery, they practiced it every single day. Marcus Aurelius wrote personal reflections every morning and night, not for the world, not for glory, but to anchor himself, to clear his mind, to remind himself what matters, to return to the moment. You can do the same, and you don't need hours. You just need a few mindful breaths and a little honesty. Start with this simple journal prompt. What's one thought from the past I'm ready to release today? Not everything, not all at once, just one. Maybe it's a regret, a grudge, a voice that says, I'm not enough. Write it down, acknowledge it, and then release it. You're not pushing it away, you're just no longer giving it the front seat. This tiny act is powerful because awareness is the first step to freedom. Then, throughout the day, practice returning. When your mind drifts into the past, don't fight it. Don't judge it. Just come back gently to the breath, to the feeling of your feet on the floor, to the task in front of you. This is mindfulness, not perfection, not constant focus, just the practice of returning. Again and again, try this morning mantra, I begin again now. You don't need yesterday to be perfect. You don't need tomorrow to be figured out. You only need now and the willingness to begin. This simple phrase resets your intention. It says, I'm not my past. I am not my mistakes. I am not stuck. I am here and I begin now. Stoicism is not about suppressing emotion. It's not about pretending the past didn't happen. It's about choosing where to place your energy. And presence is the most radical, life-giving choice you can make. Because when you're here fully, you become stronger, more grounded, more clear, more peaceful. But don't expect presence to arrive in some dramatic transformation. It's built slowly, quietly. Like water carving stone, it's the small, repeated choices that matter. One breath, one pause, one return to the moment. Over time, these small acts shape who you become. You may not be able to stop thoughts from appearing. That's human, that's natural, but you can stop living in them. You can notice the old memory and not get swept away. You can feel the urge to ruminate and choose to move your body instead. You can catch yourself drifting and softly whisper, come back. And that coming back, again and again, is the practice. Seneca wrote, true happiness is to enjoy the present without anxious dependence upon the future. He could have added, and without the chains of the past. You don't need to fix everything behind you. You just need to be here, to feel the air, to hear the moment, to live, not in memory, but in motion. So start small, a breath, a journal line, a pause, then do it again tomorrow and the next day. Because presence isn't something you wait for, it's something you train. And the more you train, the more it becomes who you are. Not scattered, not trapped, but alive right where you are. I begin again now. Say it, feel it, live it, because this moment, this breath is yours, and that's enough. 6. You are not your past. You are your present actions. Every new day is a new life. Seneca. Think about that for a second. Not just as a quote, but as a truth. Because if every day is a new life, then every sunrise is a quiet revolution. A soft permission slip from the universe saying, begin again. But so many of us don't. We wake up already haunted by yesterday's decisions, last year's failure, that one thing we said, that one thing we didn't. We carry the past like it's a name tag. This is who I am. This is what I always do. This is just me. But it's not. The Stoics remind us, you are not what happened to you. You are what you choose to do now. That's the beauty of the present moment. It's not just a pause between what was and what will be. It's the only place you can actually act, actually choose, actually change. Your past, it's information, not a definition. It's a map of where you've been, not a prison of where you must stay. Marcus Aurelius put it like this: the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. So maybe your past isn't a barrier. Maybe it's raw material. Maybe it's the fire that forged your grit, the sorrow that deepened your empathy, the loss that cracked you open to joy. But that meaning, it doesn't just happen. You must reclaim authorship. You must pick up the pen and write a new paragraph today. And you don't have to wait until you feel ready. You just have to act. Because every action you take, no matter how small, is a brushstroke on the canvas of who you're becoming. You choose to get up. You choose to speak kindly. You choose to walk, even if the road feels uncertain. That's identity. That's character. That's who you are, not in theory, but in motion. We live in a world obsessed with finding yourself. But the Stoics would offer something simpler, more powerful. You don't find yourself, you make yourself through daily choices, through discipline, through courage to keep showing up. And the moment you decide, I will no longer be ruled by who I was, you become someone new. Not someone perfect, just someone present. So what if you made peace with your past, not by erasing it, but by outgrowing it? What if your past wasn't something to overcome, but something to rise from? Not as proof that you are broken, but that you are being rebuilt. Here's a practice for today. One action, just one. Something small but intentional. Something that reflects who you want to be, not who you were. Maybe it's reaching out, maybe it's forgiving, maybe it's creating, trying, or letting go. Whatever it is, do it. Not to impress anyone, not to fix everything, but to remind yourself that you can, because here's the real miracle. Your life isn't waiting for permission from the past. It's waiting for participation from the present. Your habits shape you more than your history. Your next step matters more than your last one. And your story, it's still being written, not with guilt, not with regret, but with courage, today. So ask yourself, what would my next action be if I believed I wasn't stuck in my past? And then do that. Because you don't have to carry the old version of you forward. You get to evolve, you get to rise, you get to begin again, this moment. And no matter where you've been, who you've been, what you've lost or feared or failed, you are not your past. You are your present actions. And that means today is a new life. So live it as if it matters, because it does. 7, the past is a place to learn, not to live. Take a moment, breathe in, and ask yourself gently, what part of the past am I still carrying? Maybe it's a mistake, a heartbreak, a version of you that no longer fits, but still whispers from the shadows. We all carry something. But the question is, how long do you want to keep holding it? The past is not the enemy. It's a teacher, a mirror, a trail of breadcrumbs showing you how far you've come. But it's not meant to be a home. It's not where you live, it's where you learn. Seneca once said, it is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste much of it. And nothing wastes more of it than reliving moments we can no longer change. When we dwell in the past, we lose the present. We lose the sunrise outside our window, the kindness waiting to be offered, the idea waiting to be created, the peace that's here now, if we could only see it. Dwelling becomes a kind of invisible exile. You're alive, but you're not here. Not really. You're stuck in a chapter that's already been written, trying to rewrite it with memory, when what you really need is action. So let's flip the script. Instead of asking, why did that happen to me? Ask, what did that moment reveal? Did it show you your resilience? Did it awaken a deeper strength? Did it expose what truly matters? If it taught you something, it wasn't wasted. That's what the Stoics believed. The past holds its value only if it fuels virtue today. Marcus Aurelius wrote, look well into yourself. There is a source of strength which will always spring up if you will always look. That strength, it's not found in regret. It's found in reframing, not forgetting, but transforming. Not erasing the scar, but choosing what story it tells. Not I failed, but I grew. Not I lost, but I learned. Now ask yourself, who could I become if I chose to finally set it down? What kind of peace would enter your life if you stopped rehearsing old pain? What clarity might rise if you stopped clouding your now with yesterday? Who might you be without the weight of all that wasn't fair, all that wasn't perfect, all that no longer serves you? The truth is, You're not that story anymore. You're not trapped, you're transforming, and all transformation begins in this present moment. This is the heart of Stoic wisdom. You are free, now. Not when the past makes sense, not when it disappears. Now. You don't have to fix the story. You only have to live the next sentence with purpose. One breath at a time, one choice at a time, one act of courage at a time. So here's an image to hold in your mind. You're walking on a path. Behind you is a heavy bag. It's filled with old voices, old versions of you, old hurts. You don't need to carry it anymore. You can set it down right here, right now. Not because the past wasn't real, but because it's not required for the next step. Let it be a place you visit when wisdom calls, not a place you sleep each night. Let it inform you, but not imprison you. Let it shape you, but not shrink you. Because the past cannot be changed, but the present is still being written. And you, my friend, you are the one holding the pen. So I'll ask you again, what part of the past are you still carrying? And who could you become if you chose to finally let it go? Maybe today is the day you start finding out.